All right, I'd like to call over the regular meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority, December 19th, 2022 at 6:15. Roll call, please.
Lyons.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
White.
Here.
Coffee. Brown. Here. Williams.
Here.
Bond. Coldiron.
Here.
Stroller.
Here. I do declare a quorum. This evening, the invocation will be by Pastor Kim Hayes with the Baptist Church.
I just want to tell you, I always count it a privilege to come and pray with you all. And I tell you, you have a thankless job, but I want to say thank you for all that you do, and especially this time of the year. And I hope this is okay. In Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, it says, "For a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest upon his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace." Let me pray for you. Father, I want to pray for this group tonight, that you will give encouragement to each one. Father, in a world where we can gain plenty of discouragement along the way, Father, these servants here in this thankless job have chosen to serve you in this capacity. I pray that you will bless them, bless their families, give them wisdom, give them direction in making decisions for this community. And what a blessing it is to be a part of this community as we see it continue to grow and prosper. And Father, that's what we want. And so we're grateful again for all that you do. And God, you are a great and mighty God. Thank you for this time of the year that we can celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Savior, our Lord. God, again, bless this time together tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming. Before we get started, I just want to say that I'm having terrible back spasms. So if I just lock up in the middle of something, just bear with me a minute, okay? So item 1 is the consent agenda. There's one item there.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Lyons.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Coldiron.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the PMA this evening. Hearing none. Item 5, proclamation and accommodation reports and inquiries by the governing body. Hearing none. Item 6, appointment of Park Hill as the airport engineering consultant pursuant to their qualifications, submitting in response to the PMA's specifications, advertisement, and solicitation of requests for qualifications of engineering services of certain engineering and design work at the Perry Municipal Airport. If you remember, Park Hill was the only one that submitted a bid, and they do qualify. They've been our engineering service anyway, so we just want to go ahead and appoint them to that.
Motion to approve Park Hill as the airport engineering consultant.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Coldiron.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 7, consider approval of the First Amendment to the termination agreement, the Utility Services Company Incorporated, pertaining to the 500,000 gallon elevated tank number 2. Bryce, you want to talk about this a minute? You handle that.
Yeah, I mean, you may have seen this, before. We have amended this agreement. Part of that is to reconcile the work with the upcoming winter weather. This particular tank is the tank that we use to provide pressure, and so we're going to have to do it at the time when we don't use this tank. We're going to pay the consideration all up front. By the way, it's like $42,000. We've already paid $21,000, so it would be the balance of the payment. We're getting close to $170,000 to $200,000 worth of work. And just to ensure that that is in fact what we're getting, we went out and got another quote from another person that does this work. And so, $42,000, and we're picking up $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 of extra labor. Now, we had paid into this maintenance agreement, but we had decided not to terminate the agreement, so it's important to get some benefit out of that. And by way of this first amendment, we're getting a kind of amazing benefit out of it. And that tank, this is, of course, the tank that's out by I-35. It's going to be painted on the inside, going to be sandblasted, going to be painted on the inside, going to be painted on the outside. We're going to put Perry up there so it's visible and repaint what is there. And that ought to give us 14 to 15 years of worth on that. And if you've taken a look at the contract, you've seen that Matthew Coe even added some performance standards with respect to the paint and the way it's going to get applied. So this particular First Amendment determination agreement is better than what we did before, and we do recommend that you approve this.
I make a motion to approve the First Amendment determination agreement with Utility Services Company pertaining to the designated tank.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 8, any new business that needs to come before the authority this evening? Hearing none, motion on adjournment, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to call over the regular meeting of the City of Perry, December 19th, 2022 at 6:22. Roll call, please.
Wines,
Here.
Marshall,
Here.
White,
Here.
Coffee,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Vaughn, Goldar,
Here.
Stroller.
Here. I do declare a quorum. Item number 1 is the consent agenda. There's one item.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Goldar, Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the city agenda tonight. Would you please come to the podium and state your name?
Cindy Bowman. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not good at this.
Just tell us what you got going on up there in the
Okay,
area.
okay.
And this pertains to, the rest of you that don't know, item number 9. Go ahead.
Yes, on crossing. And I appreciate you guys bringing this tonight, and I appreciate the patrol, it does help with our issue up there, sir. And I just wanted to give you a background about how we got here. Good. Across the street is Cheryl Mack's Beauty Shop. That sidewalk dumps right into Call. We have about 7 to 12 walkers that dump right into Call and start walking. If there's any cars parked along here, the kids are going in the middle of the street, these cars are coming around, there's cars trying to turn on Call, there's cars coming across the school, you know, if there's an outlet there, it's just a congestion. And somebody's gonna get hurt. These are little kids. So then if you go to moving them from the front to the back to the alley, my gas meter's been hit twice. Cheryl Mack has a beauty shop, the business, they blocked the cars for her business. The previous owner of the house across the alley from her put up wooden beams to stop the parking back there. It was like a parking lot once upon a time. Then there's our shop, so now they're moving down to our shop. And when he was getting off work at 3, he couldn't even get in the shop half the time. So we're waiting in line to get in our driveway, but these people can't get in line to pick up their kids. And it just goes on. And the lady next to that one is parking in her backyard now because she can't get out of her front driveway on Locust at all, period. And so now we've got cars blocking her in the back when she can't get out the front. And we have seen cars parked here, and they'll come down the alley, go through the neighbor's yard, all the way up around the trash cans and the gas meters, and come back out the other side. they're being very disrespectful, and I know you're always gonna have those rogue parents who don't wanna follow rules and get in line. I've never had to deal with the drop-off line, it looks like madness. At 3, we have all seen it. And no parking signs, I appreciate and can respect if you don't want, and maybe that's not the answer, I don't know, that was a suggestion to me, so I brought it to you. If you can just kick around some ideas on what we need to do, and if I have permission to run them off out front, I don't know the laws. If they're blocking my driveway, I have asked them to move, or my mailbox. Sometimes the mailman runs late, it's 3 o'clock. And they'll move, and then there's a couple that park in the alley that are being told to park in the alley. I don't know who's telling them, when that's where the problem is. And the gas meter, I had to fix at my expense. Asked them to put up a barrier around the gas meter. They put a concrete pole in front of it and a flag behind it, and they're still parking here. Running over the flag. It's madness. So I appreciate you considering it. I don't know what to do about it, but maybe the signs aren't the answer, but someone's gonna get hurt. The safety of the kids is my priority, but also my utilities. Okay.
All right, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, hearing none. Item 5, proclamation, commendation, reports, inquiries by the governing body. Hearing none. Item 6, the city manager's report, monthly project update.
Thank you, sir. Earlier this year, we were awarded by the Oklahoma Department of Commerce an award for $24,000 to be paid for what was called site assessment. There were 3 firms that the Oklahoma Department of Commerce had already vetted. Christie and I chose Quest Site Solutions. They've done their work. We have submitted our invoices to the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. We have received our $24,000 back, so we're good with that. The report came in over the weekend. We've not had a good chance to really look at it, see what's in it, but once we get to it and maybe look at some issues that we may have that are incorrect perhaps, we will put those together and give those to the council and to other stakeholders, especially those that participated in these on-site visits for us. So, we had also planned a electronics recycling event in January. Unfortunately, again this weekend, this is rather dramatic weekend for me. Found out that the vendor that we had chosen will be shutting down at the end of December. So right now, we're just going to put that on pause right now and find us another vendor and do this the right way. Also, with Christmas coming up, there's usually, with the holidays, there's usually questions about trash pickup, but because Christmas is on a Sunday this week, Jim Davis says that unless there's some kind of issue with snow or ice or something, that they will maintain their regular route days. So hopefully, knock on wood, we don't have to put anything on Facebook that we're going to change that because of that. So, council, any questions?
You'll be closed on Monday due to the holiday being on Sunday?
Pardon?
You'll be closed on Monday?
Yes,
due
ma'am.
to the holiday?
City hospital will be, city offices, of course, emergency services to be open on. Thank you, council. Mayor?
Item 7, chief financial officer's report. Russ?
I talk fast, so you can hear all the time.
Well, thank you. You gave me extra time. I know you guys don't have anything better to do right now than sit around listening to some financial updates, so I'll go ahead and take my time tonight and talk real slowly. All right, fine. Gosh, it's not even Jamie.
Benzie
It's
gave up the day
coming from
because he had to
Jamie.
go skiing today.
I said it was the norm, so I'm prepared.
Guys, I'm gonna start out. I want to introduce one of our, not really new staff, he's been with us for about 9 months now, but it is a Perry native son, works with us out at Clinton. Braden Sweet is with us. He's started working on your all's account sometime this summer. And so he's about 6 months in. I thought, hey, you know what, you ought to go with me one night to Perry and kind of see how everything goes down. So I brought him home. unfortunately, we didn't get offered dinner from his parents or something. I thought one of our brought him, I was gonna get invited to dinner, but that's not happening, so I don't have any reason to get out of here early tonight, so.
You can still make Chick-fil-A.
By the way, I did make Chick-fil-A. We'll talk after the meeting
All
related to
right,
that. All right, on to bigger and better things. So, but I'm saying that, if you guys see Braden here one night, because Marathon or I weren't, you guys know at least, it's at least valid. He just didn't come in off the street and sat in a chair, and you're like, what's he doing here? What's going on? So, yeah, he's doing a great job, and look forward to more of his work. Related to your all's financials, and just a handful of things that I like to address at this time. Number one, let's talk about overall CPI, Consumer Price Index, inflation, those kind of numbers. You guys heard the national averages. Our area, 7.4% for the 1 year. We're at 15.45% coming out in November. We are not going to hit the almost 18 that we had said would be worst case scenario. So some corrections are starting in that market. It's just how quickly those corrections are going to happen is really the big picture. Probably whenever we start into next year, we will continue to compare that not only now to a two-year number, but I'll start giving you a 3-year number, because this is really October of 2 years ago was when we really started this big inflationary kick. And so I'll probably be changing that reference number and giving you guys back to the 3-year number as we get into the later part of the year. But anyhow, going to tell you that piece. A piece of good news. The other thing that we always talk about is the power cost adjustment. That net difference, that wholesale markup of electricity that we pass on to the customers. As we talked about, that had been up to about 4.9 cents. We are back down. This month's bill went out at 0.6 cents. So not even a full penny per kilowatt hour, which is great news for the utility bill. I am going to say that the winter storm coming in this latter part of this week, those are the kind of things that kill us in these. Those are huge gas draws, huge utility draws, depending on where the numbers come out and what the volumes come. November's normally and December are normally low months. We don't expect big power pulls during this time. And so to get a big power pull for heating, potentially that number's going to be a little bit higher whenever we finally get that reconciled number. And that reconciled number probably, we won't get final consumption based on where it is in the month. We may not get that bill until January. So, but we'll be watching it, and I'll kind of keep you abreast of that and what's going on. Sales tax and use tax both continue to be very strong for us this year. Use tax in particular related to construction activities. Construction activities generated an approximate additional $260,000 for us this year over what we would have normally seen in our use tax. Use tax in general is up, but we're up even so much more over what we would expect. Sales tax is also up. It helps with a couple of new open stores. Matter of fact, we stopped in today and looked at the DG Market. I'm telling you, if you guys haven't been in, run by
I
and
just
at
went
least
today for the first
take a
time,
look.
too. It's nice.
I was pleasantly surprised at, not I guess that I had a bad piece, but man, when we walked in and the way it was organized and the markets, heck, I looked at it and saw all the freezer space and said to myself, that's Coolidge, that's electricity. We like those things, So that was how I looked at it whenever I walked in. Everybody else saw, great products and those kind of things. I was just looking at bottom line dollars for the city and what was coming out. So looking well there, and I think that will turn out pretty strong for us. The other big highlight as far as revenues go, hotel motel tax collections. If you didn't look, $24,000 for the month. That's another strong number for us. We like to see those numbers. 17,000, if you'll go back and always remember, is my baseline number. We're back to a positive collection number on that. Hopefully that'll continue. We will keep residents going. Should be a busy travel month, especially the next week and a half. We usually see a lot of travel in a lot of places. For some reason, people don't like staying with their family. They want to come see them. They just don't like staying with them. We like to have our hotels full, so make sure you fill up the hotels as far as that goes. Related to expenses, guys, there was, you'll see in the expense, you guys know about it. Pretty much we're at 42% on all of these numbers and everything running out. If you look at the fire, remember we have paid for the fire truck. That's why the overage is down there. Not only did we pay for the fire truck, we also had another $45,000 repair bill. We've paid. You guys have approved those. We just haven't brought you back the formal budget amendments. Those will be coming in January. It'll get those percentages back in line. As far as other expenses, there wasn't anything that just jumps out that I would be worried about. Looking at the PMA and jumping down that piece, we've talked about, that high cost of electricity, 64% over average, about 14% higher. In the month of November, if you run our trend line in our development and where things come, the month of November is usually the 50% mark. For late October, early November, it's 50% mark for wholesale electric purchase in a normal year. We're 64% over what we had budgeted. Now, our revenues are up. We're going to see the increase in the revenue side also, but we're extremely high in wholesale electric purchase. That goes back to the PCA and all of those things that I was talking about and how that money flows through. So that's really the big difference. The rest of the expenses, guys are in line with what we do, capital projects that we've done during the year, and those kind of things. It didn't take too long, Larry, if you didn't approve.
Proud of you.
These two over here aren't going to approve. I just said no report, but.
That's right, that's right.
I at least did something.
I feel like it was a good balance.
Was that a good balance for you?
Yeah, I liked
Okay,
it.
about 10 minutes? All right, I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes going forward.
Thank you.
Gotta feel a little.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, any questions?
Any other harassment?
If it weren't for Braden, we would have reclaimed the time anyway.
Oh, okay.
Item 8, amendments to the public trust bidding regulations due to the amendments in the state law. Bryce, why don't you go ahead and explain this? They've changed some regulations, and then we'll come back and go over these.
Yeah. For forever, Title 60, Section 176I provided for a procurement provision for public trusts. And at one time it was $10,000, $25,000, it's up to $50,000. So if it's over $50,000, you got to put an ad in the newspaper for 2 weeks. And that is service contracts, not professional services, but service contracts, materials, supplies, and equipment, vehicles. The legislature repealed it. So it's not in the law anymore. Because it's not in the law anymore, we're going to repeal it from our purchasing manual and from our ordinance, our internal control ordinance. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have regulations on that. We're just doing the same thing that the state did, and that's repealing that particular provision. We still take bids. The manager is still limited in what he can expend, and we're still going to do competitive quotes, and then if they're not oral quotes, written quotes, we're going to still do that. All that documentation is all public record. You can come down, but we are going to eliminate that which the state eliminated. What they put in its place is that these public trusts must follow the Public Competitive Bid Act and the Fair Pay Act. And of course, they're already required to, but that's what they put in there. By the way, the Fair Pay Act provides, now, they made an amendment there too, and it provides that retainage, once a contract reaches 50% of payment, it goes to 2.5% instead of 5%. So that's another little change that we did in this ordinance and in this manual. So we're recommending these for approval, consistent with state law change.
Any questions for Bryce? Okay. Item A is consider amending the Perry purchasing manual, deleting special competitive bidding and emergency clause for the public trust fund in section 2.9.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines, yes. Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item B, consider approval of the ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Perry Municipal Code 2022 by repealing the Section 7-112 concerning a special competitive bidding rule for public trust due to the amendment of Title 60, Section 1761 of the Oklahoma statute as amended, and reserving such section number, providing for repealer, savings, codification, severability, and declaring an emergency.
So moved. Approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Goldar.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Motion on emergency, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Goldar.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item number 9, discuss and consider the installation of the no parking signs in the 1400 block of Call and corresponding alley. Larry?
Ms. Bowman has said that she was requesting signs similar to what they have close to Seven Clans Casino. And city administration sees this a little bit different. That's it used to be a 24-hour casino, a lot more traffic than it has been lately. So we see this a little bit different. This happens 15 minutes during school for 9 months, 8 months, 9 months. So we don't really see the need for these no parking signs. You have some pictures that were given. I also meant to bring with me some pictures that Ms. Bowman had presented of a red truck very close to the two gas meters that she had mentioned that had been hit twice, and then a couple of pictures of kids out just getting out of the car or getting into the car, and I failed to bring those. Anyway, we're not in favor of this installation of no parking signs. Brian, if you happen to have anything to add to that.
Well, Larry called me and then he received complaints on this. I went up there for 2 solid weeks, and it's really not in the mornings because they're not dropping their kids off. It's after school. If you've ever gone, as a parent, gone through 15th Street after school, is a nightmare. It's there before and after school. And to me, I wish we could set a toll booth. That'd be a good idea. But
How many toll booths do you need?
they're on each side, we can make some money, but I think if you think about it as a parent, because if you're going north, right there at Call is where you can get in the center lane. After that, you gotta keep driving around until you can get into that lane. And I think a lot of parents have said, hey, we'll just park over here. Locust Street is packed. I mean, they've got cars lined up on Locust Street. I've seen one car in 2 weeks and it's not blocking a driveway, it's not, I don't know, it's kind of, in police theory, we call it fishing. You can say they're speeding, it's the speed, and we can sit there all day and never see a speeder, and then when we leave, they come around. And I mean, my suggestion, if there's an issue with alley blockage, or just call us when it's happening and we'll go up there and address. I did catch one car. She parked and her and her daughter were getting out to walk up to the intersection to meet their child, and they did park close to a mailbox, and I said, could you maybe move to the alley, which, as long as you're not blocking access to an alley, you can still park behind there. And, I mean, I've just really never seen the need for no parking signs in that street, so.
So most of those things that were asked or talked about, so the mailboxes, the entryways, is that true on front and back? That's kind of a question, but, and then the stop signs, any of those things you guys could police?
Right.
Including the alleyway entrances?
Absolutely. If somebody's parked in front of your residence when you get home tonight and you can't get in your driveway, call us. We'll find the car owner and have them moved. If they don't move, then we'll have it towed. I mean, if they just need to call and let us know if it's happening, but I just, at this time, I just don't see a need to have no parking signs. To me, if there was a problem, I'd addressed it to Larry, said, hey, we need to do something, but after going and taking pictures and submitting them, and it's maybe one car, and it's not doing anything, no harm, it's not illegally parked, it's on, so.
Is this something that we could write like a reminder and send it to the school and say, hey,
Absolutely.
can you remind the parents of how you're supposed to do it? If you stop on Locust and you're within so many feet of the stop time, you can get a ticket. Or
Which
if-
we patrol the school zones, that's priority for us, and there's always an officer on 15th, and there's always one on Fur. And if they see that issue, they're getting out of their cars and walking and saying, hey, come on, go with it, and so, yeah, I mean, we police that area, that is a must every
Because
day.
there's people that park in the parking lot of the duplexes over there.
Yeah,
too.
they do.
And this goes back to what we talked about several weeks ago about having a conference with the school about how that how that needs to take place. I think there's a large opportunity for kids to get ran over up there. It scares me to death.
I'd be concerned too, right now, if we started moving cars off those side streets, you'd have that much more congestion on 15th. Maybe there is something we need to address, but any action needs to be fully thought through and probably that conversation with the schools.
I would really like to try to figure out how we can have the kids picked up on the school grounds. and
It
not
is
on this
nice.
side.
I think a lot
Because,
of-
I mean, someone's gonna get ran over, it's like into the neighborhoods, and
Well, they do have school personnel
kids
walking
walking.
across the
Yeah,
street.
they said they're walking across the street,
And
kids walk home anyways.
I think it's gonna be a great project when we get the sidewalk project down Locust. They have an actual sidewalk and they're not in the road, and that's gonna solve a lot of issues on that, so. But anyway, that's up to you guys, but I don't see really, I just prefer that she call it, if their driveway's blocked or something, let us go respond to that instead of, because there's just been one car in 2 weeks is all I've ever seen in that area.
she sent me a lot of these pictures on my phone, and she asked if she could buy no parking signs and put in her yard. I said, you can do anything you want in your yard, but we aren't gonna police your no parking signs.
Right.
There's a business in the alleyway behind there,
Kingsburg.
and I used to live in a house on the other side of the
I remember
alley.
that, yeah.
And I can remember, even before we had all the schools there, people getting in her driveway and blocking cars in there, and her having to find somebody to move them. So I think that was a problem. And I even hit the gas meter one time. But I wondered, could we put no public parking in the alleyway where there was a business located there?
I think it's up to the business owner, if they're blocking her access to her business. I mean, I've talked to Cheryl and she's never had any issues with parking up there.
But it is something you all could police if it became an issue, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, if you have a no parking zone, it also affects the residents after the school zone. So that's the other thing, it's 15 minutes out of 9 months out of the day. If you have a no parking,
So somebody's having a
Sign.
softball party and people show
Right.
up, then you'd want us to go up there and say, there's no parking.
There's no
We're gonna
parking,
tow
and-
yours, give you tickets. I mean, I just don't,
but you can say you're not gonna do it, but if we
Yeah.
have a TIF and I decided to call it in, it is against the law then to park there too. So then I think you have to start looking at, well, then is it timed and then again, is it
you're
worth it
talking
versus?
15 minutes of the day, and it's after school is where the issue is. And but like I said, I encourage you, go to Locust Street and look at the traffic on that, both sides waiting on their kids, but and next street over, there's been one car.
And that was gonna be my other thing. This is one street, so if you do it there, then there's a trickle of it.
Now that we're having a meeting, people watching, so I think I'll head over to call now and park, because it's only one car over there, and there's 20 on this street, so.
And now they can call you.
So,
They can call you if there's a problem.
but I mean, if you got a family that's, say they're low on fuel, and they go, I don't want to sit in that line and just keep bump, and I'll park over here, meet me over here, and that way when you get in the car, we can go home, and I don't have an issue with that, and it's safe walking the kids, because school personnel do walk them across, but, I mean, this time I can't justify having no parking on that street. I mean, you're talking 15 minutes of the day, and like you said, if it's no parking, it's no parking, it's not any time of the night, we can go by there and do something, and then you're gonna, I think, hate to say it, you may get a chain reaction. Well, our neighborhood, we got car, we need no parking here, and it's just gonna start a chain reaction. I'd just rather them call us, let us take care of the issue if there is one.
Well, you know, with potential of more things, another school, other things added, we need to have that bigger, broader conversation and figure out how we handle it
Yeah.
overall, probably with the school and the city.
I think when the kids come back to school after the new year, that the school needs to send out
Yeah.
a memo that says, hey, this is how the flow is supposed to go. These are the rules. For the safety of your children, please,
Sure.
and be nice people.
Be considerate.
Any further discussion? If not, we'll move on to 10. Item 10, consider approval of the First Amendment to the termination agreement with the Utility Service Company Incorporated pertaining to the 500,000 gallon elevated tank number 2. This is the same thing we approved in the PMA a while ago.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Lyons? Yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown? Williams?
Yes.
Coldiron?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes, thank you. Item 11, consider and formally approve assurance relating to the real property acquisition related to the Upper Black Bear Site 62 Rehabilitation and Modification Project to the National Resource Conservation Services of the U.S. Department of Agriculture and authorize the mayor to sign. So, when we get done here, we need to tell Bryce how happy we are with this guy. He has worked his tail off for a long time putting this together. And he's killed it.
Or you don't have to, you did pay me, thank you very much. But in this great, the end of the year, and we've, and it's done. You know, all that's left, and we have all the real property rights, all that's left is when this construction is done, we're gonna have to move the rural water line that's located across the bridge. There's an OG&E line, of course, you know, we're responsible for those utilities to be moved. And there's one oil and gas pad, but this is respect to all the interests. We have acquired all the interests, including the van interest. They still have some time to ask for a jury trial, and we're waiting for that time limit, and then we'll tender the dollars up there. But I've run this letter by conservation. I prepared it, I sent it to them, they're gonna accept it, so we're going to start this project now, which is wonderful. It's taken a long time to get here. You know, we did it with only one eminent domain case. We worked it out with all the residents out there. I would just say that and I talked to Larry about this today, and we might as well, you know, put it out there. It's part of it. We really we've been up to the county twice, and we talked to the county commissioners about assisting us with this, with the road project. This is a county road. It's in the county. It's in the new county commissioner's district, correct? Yeah. And as I understand, he has been just amazing since he started in his work that he's been doing for the county. But we're going to need to get up there, and you know, they're a sponsor just like we are. We've put out $750,000.
Yes.
Yeah, and we really need the county to help kick in some dollars. It would be ARPA dollars that they could kick in. You know, the one thing the county does is roads, streets and roads. And this is a street, a road. It's in the county. It's outside the corporate limits, and we really need to double up and really ask for the county as a sponsor to assist us with this project. So that's what I'd like to see done as we move forward, and we will keep you fully advised as to how this is proceeding. But as of today, we're asking you to authorize the mayor to execute this assurance, and now it's on somebody else's back.
I make a motion that we formally approve the assurance relating to the built property acquisition relating to the Upper Black Bear. I'm glad to see this coming about. I was there when the big meeting was held.
The governor and the congressman.
All the people from Washington DC. It was really a great big deal at the time, and we were really proud that we were chosen for that, and we were the first.
You need to remember, it's $10 million of grant money. So, we talk about these $1 million ARPA grants and $1 million principal forgiveness. This is $10 million that will be spent on not only flood control projects, but, to protect our water well into the future, because Perry Lake is our alternative water source, and we currently use it, so.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines, yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes. Well, I know we paid you, but thank you, Bryce.
And say, Bryce, I know we paid you, but we do appreciate that we were able to work it out with our citizens.
It's
That
all
was
about
really
the money.
important.
It's about the money. Also about the project. I'm very happy that we got this done.
Well, I was gonna say, I was appreciative that you were able to work it out with our citizens.
Yes.
We didn't have to, other than that was a long process.
But with all of our citizens, the one that wasn't it lives in Houston, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Item 12, consider approval of payment of $39,885 to Interstate Electric Corporation for materials and labor for work of the vertical turbine pump used at the water treatment plant. It's just paying some bills that we had a pump rebuilt, I guess.
Yes, sir.
How much are these motors new? You know, Larry?
I do not.
I do remember them being a lot more expensive than this.
I'm sure, I'm just curious.
And what's amazing, when you see this come out of the area, it's got barnacles. It's almost like, you've seen something in the, like a Jacques Cousteau movie that comes out and it's got all barnacles all over the stuff. It's from the top to the bottom. And so if we can continue to do this over a period of time and put them on a rotation.
That's the ones that are in the line there, that they're pulling one, rebuilding it,
Right.
put it back in, pulling it.
Yeah. So they we get some more years out of it.
There's 3, is that right?
Thought there was,
Is there 6?
The other 6, yeah.
Okay, a multiple of 3?
We've done. This will be the
That's
third.
what you meant.
Three times.
This will be the
Oh,
third
where's
one that
Kevin?
we've
We
done.
need our
Third one.
pictorial
Okay.
table.
That's where I was trying to go, is
Yeah.
where we were in the rotation. So,
Yeah, if you remember in 2018, we had one that went totally out. We were really screwed for that weekend anyway. Citizens helped us out a lot. But once we pulled that out and then had it refurbished, we decided we were gonna put this on a rotation so that we pull one out almost every year. This particular one was really for last year, but because of all the supply issues and all that, we're just now getting to this.
okay.
Motion to approve payment to Interstate Electric Corporation for $39,885.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines, yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes, thank you. Item 13, approve the following invoices to Thornton, Muse, and Bellman for polymer in the amount of $40,477.20, for corrosion inhibitor in the amount of $12,896.30, and for sodium chloride in the amount of $18,000 as a sole vendor and pursuant to the certifications of the city manager.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines, yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes, thank you. Item 14, consider award of bids at Haymeadow contract and enter into a 5-year agreement with Terry Leonard in the annual amount of $597 for track 2 and $625 for track 4. There was another track one that no one bid on, and Terry has showed interest in that, but he has not come forward and said anything about that. So we just need to approve track 2 and 4. If he comes forward, we'll work out the other one.
How many acres are there in those tracks?
I don't remember exactly. I looked in the contract and I don't know that it said. They're both small.
Yeah, I don't think the contract didn't say.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, Joe. But they're like 10-acre tracts or something.
Yes.
Lord knows.
I make a motion that we approve or award, I guess, the bid for the Hay Meadows for 5 years, Terry Leonard for track 2 and 4.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes?
Marshall. Yes. White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Cold Iron,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Any new business that needs to come before the council this evening? Item 16, consider convening an executive session to confer on matters pertaining to the economic development of the city of Perry, to discuss proposal to entice the location of residential developers to the community to build single-family dwellings, duplexes, and/or multifamily housing, and thereby approve the economic development of the city of Perry. As public disclosure to the proposal will interfere into the development and implementation of this proposal pursuant to 25 OS 307 C11 Oklahoma statutes as amended. This is the Woods addition in the former elementary school property locations.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes?
Marshall.
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Cold Iron,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you.
You would be surprised.
Let's see what actually.
Item 17, motion to reconvene, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Wines? Yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes. Item 18, take any action necessary respective to executive session. Hearing none. Item 19, motion on adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Wines? Yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes.
Hey, you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, hey, well, we got one more meeting. I forgot.
Whoa,
Oh,
I know
we have
this.
one more meeting.
Sit back down.
Oh, we always had two.
I know, well,
I know.
Bryce came up with
Third.
this silly idea. All right, I'd like to call over the regular meeting of the Perry Facilities Authority, December 19th, 2022 at 8:39. Roll call, please.
Wines? Here. Marshall?
Here.
White?
Here.
Coffee?
Here.
Brown?
Here.
Williams?
Here.
Vaughn? Coldar?
Here.
Stroller?
Here, I do declare a quorum. Item 1 is the consent agenda. Come on.
Motion
Oh,
approved.
motion to approve.
One was a second, okay? Roll call, please.
Wines? Yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes.
I second that.
Motion on adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
We'll get to cover one last one.
Look at this, look at this. Wines? Yes. Marshall?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Goldar?
Yes.
Stroller?
Yes.